Hello everybody, it's Stephanie Kakris here for the weekly Wealth and Abundance Energy reading for the 30th of March to the 5th of April 2020. Facebook wouldn't let me go live on my laptop, so I've grabbed my phone and that's why I'm a few minutes late. For those of you who don't know me, I love working with people to help them achieve their full potential. And I have studied all sorts of different ways to do that, and I love to operate on, I believe that in order to really get to where we want to go, we need to clear layers of different conditioning and past life stuff and ancestral clearing. And the layers are, it's the mental thoughts layer, there's the emotional layer, there's the spiritual layer, and there's the energetic layer. And so when I'm working with people, I like to work at all the different levels, because that's where the most power is to clear all the different levels. So for the Wealth and Abundance Energy reading this week, obviously we are in very interesting times and a lot of people are being really challenged by what's going on, but the spiritual people that I follow believe really strongly that we're on the brink of a mass awakening, and that at the end of all these things, life on earth is going to be infinitely better, more equal. The power distribution will be more even. People will be living more communities. People will be watching out for each other, and our values will be generally more loving instead of more materialistic. So, and it was interesting. When I was doing the washing the other day, I had a bit of a message as I was reflecting upon this, saying, "The darker the cloud, the brighter the silver lining." So, that was kind of the message that I got. Good morning, Marianne. And I'm holding on to that, that hope for the future. I feel like that's a really powerful place to be in this time. And one of the cards has actually given me that confirmation as well. So the first two cards that I've chosen are from my own parenting oracle card deck that I've created called Higher Wisdom. And the first card came with explanation. So this says, I take the time to explain truthfully what is happening. So I feel like this message is for the parents who are watching this, actually a couple of people have asked me this during the week as well, about how do we actually talk to our kids about this without freaking them out. And so what I've said is to explain to the children, I mean, obviously by now they already know what's going on, but if they're asking questions, to try and explain the things in a really calm manner, to try and definitely keep them away from watching the news or any TV advertising, because there's a lot of drama and fear absorbed in that. To explain to them why we're doing the right thing, we're isolating so that we, if we get sick, we'll be fine, but, we're helping to minimize the spread so that everyone can manage. So it's just to keep it really simple, answer all the questions that they've got, and try and keep it neutral in the way that you're speaking, and so as to minimize their anxiety around it. So that's the explanation card. I also feel like for those of you who don't have kids, and in terms of just as adults, take the time to listen to Spirit explaining to you what the underlying message is as well. And I'll talk about that more in a moment. So the second card that came out, and it's interesting because I think I've had all these cards in the last couple of weeks, is the belief card. So this says, I have high aspirations for my children and I believe in them. So, there are two ways that we can there are two perspectives that we can hold at the moment, and the two perspectives that I've seen are quite polarizing. Hi Michelle, hi Marianne, lovely to see you. The two perspectives are, doom and gloom, that that the powers that be are using the coronavirus as an excuse to control the masses and to instill fear and to make us all, like, control us all. And then the other more prevailing, I guess, message from the people that I circulate with anyway is that, yes, this is a terrible time and this is bad, but it's actually causing a mass awakening, and it's also giving us a silver lining and bringing us back to the critical community and loving values that we all crave and that we all desire. And there was something else I was going to say about that. Yes, and that we need to actually be grateful for the coronavirus coming along, because Mother Earth has sent the coronavirus to save us all from a fate that, a crash course that needed something pretty serious to force us back into the ways that are more sustainable and the ways that are actually going to keep the human race going for a much longer time. So they're the sort of things that I like to believe in, and that I'm holding that hope and I'm holding that that vision. And the next card that I've chose is from the Kuan Yin Oracle deck, which is a really beautiful deck, and all the messages are all intertwined. And this is Sisters of the Sun Rising. So this card is all about collaboration and coming together, and that we're all in this together and that we're all rising together. And this is a really perfect card. But the message that I'm getting for this card is that if enough of us hold the belief and the collective energy that only good is going to come out of what we're going through at the moment, then we can actually control that we can control that outcome. Or no, control is not the right word, but we can help to create that outcome together. So if yes, like, obviously emotions are high, allow your emotions to come up and down and in and around, but really continue to, when you can, when you're meditating or when you've just got a quiet moment by yourself, when you're walking in nature or whatever, hold that vision of the world that we've all been dreaming of, where there's enough money and food and abundance and resources for everyone, where people treat each other with respect, where there's kindness. And it's already started. Yesterday when my family and I went out for our walk, there were a lot more people down at our local creek than usual, and everyone, almost without exception, smiled warmly at us and said hello, which normally only happens maybe 1 in every 4 people. Most people just walk past without acknowledging those other people, and they were all people that we didn't know, so they weren't like people who we see all the time. And so we just maintained our distance, but we all smiled, and I feel like that connection is already starting, that we're all in this together. And this is really encouraging you to hold that belief, and if enough of us collectively can hold that belief of a better world and to hold that vision, then we can create that together. So that's the Sisters of the Sun Rising card. The fourth card that I've chosen is also from Alana Fairchild's deck. The Kuan Yin deck is also Alana Fairchild's deck, the Crystal Mandela Oracle card. And this card came up, I think, 2 weeks ago, which is really interesting because there are like 60 cards in this deck or something. And this is St. Germain, Ascended Master St Germain and Amethyst, and it's about spiritual connection. So again, a reminder that this is a really heightened time of spiritual downloads, of intuition. So if you start hearing voices, if you start getting intuitive messages that are quite strong, you are not going crazy, but it's an indication of you that you are really super connected right now, and that you need to maybe get a journal, get a notebook, and write down the messages that you're hearing or thinking or feeling about, some insights about where you need to go next in your life, about what's happening globally on the planet, You might get a message about, a thought of a friend that you hadn't spoken to for a while might pop into your head, and you might be getting a message that it's time to call them and check in on them and see how they're doing, or that for whatever reason that it's time for you to reconnect again. So really take heed of those messages. They're going to be super strong this week, as probably they are for the next couple of months, and perhaps ongoing from now. I'm just getting this vision of from the crown is like a portal, like a light beaming down from an alien ship almost, with direct messages into your head. So if you need any support with how to tune into those messages and how to decipher the difference between messages and thoughts, please reach out and let me know. Yes, I think it's just confirmation of the spiritual awakening. Amethyst is a beautiful calming crystal as well. If you've got any crystals at home, amethyst is the purple crystal, and it's a very common one. So you've probably, if you've got a little crystal collection, you've most likely got an amethyst. So keep it close by, perhaps put it on the counter next to your bed, or on your little altar or something, and allow it to hold the space of peace in your home. It's a very peaceful, it's a peaceful thing. Mary Lou's saying, I'll just say hello. Hi, Soraya, and hi, Marinda. Mary Lou's saying, messages versus thoughts. Have you written an article on this? I have written an article on this, and I've not published it, Mary Lou. So perhaps it's time that I put it up on my blog and I shared it about how to decipher the difference between messages and thoughts. And it does take some practice to decipher the difference between thoughts and messages. But for me, just briefly, the way that I see a message is that it's kind of like a ping of inspiration. So, and it often happens when your brain is in a more relaxed mode. So for me, it happens when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm in the shower, when I'm going for a walk, when your brain is a little bit calmer and relaxed and not engaged in an activity, so to speak, that requires a lot of brain power. And it kind of feels like it's like a thought that pops in that's separate to any other normal train of thought. So we've got our thoughts that are just going around and around, and an inspiration or a message from spirit just kind of pops in. And to me, that's the best way to describe it. Some people actually hear it like it's a voice talking to them, and so that's the way they can decipher the difference. But it takes a bit of practice to decipher the difference. And if you're not sure, then you can ask for more confirmation, please. So ask for a sign in the physical to help you confirm, especially if it's a big inspiration, like, that you need to move to a different country, or that's not going to happen at the moment. Perhaps you need to move house, right? Let's say you get a download that you need to move house. That's not something that you just want to, like, on a whim, start looking at or doing. So if it's something like that and you want to ask for further information, you want to ask for further external confirmation, please give me a sign that I can't where I can't deny that this is a real sign that I need to be doing this. Then some external confirmation will come your way. And if not, just wait and see if more downloads come. Ask for more information, and see if more information comes. So I hope that's been helpful. So to summarize, the collective consciousness is really powerful. So watch your thoughts. Try and hold a vision for the future that's really positive. And you might want to journal on this. You might want to create a vision board to help bring in that energy for people. Soraya is saying to doubt the doubt, because our human ego mind wants to dismiss it as being like just our imagination, or that's ridiculous or whatever. And she's saying, don't worry, that if the first message is the correct one, you will receive further confirmations. Thank you. That's beautiful, Soraya. And I totally agree. So I'll hope you have a wonderful week. Kayla asked for a card reading. I'm not going to be doing individual card readings today. So here we go. Kayla's saying, last night I was in the playroom, closed the window, and something hit me in my leg, and I would have heard something talking to me. I do have 2 angel babies. Beautiful. So, yeah, well, like that's the other thing too, is that our guides and our spirit guides and our angels are really closely connected to us at the moment. So if you do need some extra support, make sure you call them in, ask for their help, ask for them to help you stay calm, to release any fear, to help bring you the resources that you need if you're struggling financially, and trust that everything is going to work out for the best. So thank you all for watching, and I shall catch you all again at the same time. Actually, next Monday it's going to be at 10 o'clock Melbourne time, because we change our daylight savings times, and I'm going to swap this to the 10 o'clock, which will be the same time in real life, but 10 o'clock change on the clock. From now on ongoing, I'll make it at 10 o'clock, and then it gives me more time to hang out with the kids and whatever. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Namaste, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.